Don Charles and Daniel Dubois' team are behaving despicably towards Usyk's team. And I don't understand why Don Charles think this is going to work. Like, we've seen this before. John Fury, Tyson Fury's team, tried to intimidate Usyk's team and it never worked. And in fact, it got really worse for Fury in the fight, where Usyk nearly pummeled Fury to death in that fight. The referee saved Fury's behind in that fight. So I don't think that this bullying and trying to intimidate and making it, scary, I don't think it bothers Usyk's team. I think they are just calm and relaxed and they just want to have a fight. But I don't understand where Don Charles and his son, George Fox, are coming from. Now, in the press conference of the fight, which was just announced, Don Charles has been calling Usyk a cheat, going on about which god does Usyk serves, to the fact that Usyk is lying and is cheating because of the low blow. Guys, it was a low blow. I want you guys to look at the picture on that screen. It was a low blow. A lot of the gloves started below the navel and then came upwards because it was a uppercut. But also, it is in the referee's discretion to call it a low blow. And the referee called it a low blow. And in the rulebook, a fighter have 5 minutes to recover from a low blow. Usyk then took more than 1 minute, 2 minutes, but it wasn't even up to 5 minutes that Usyk took. He got up, turned the pressure up, and stopped Dubois with a jab. And Don Charles, all he's doing is focusing on the fact that Usyk took a long time to recover from a shot that was a low blow. To be out here calling Usyk a cheat and what kind of godly man is he and why would he cheat? I don't understand what is wrong with Don Charles. And this behavior, I don't know why he thinks that this is going to help Dubois. If anything, it's going to make Dubois' life difficult in that ring because it's going to energize Usyk. It's going to motivate Usyk to even train harder. And it's going to be difficult for Dubois to catch Usyk in the ring and land those bombs, which is what he has to do to stop Usyk. And then Don Charles' son, George Fox, in the video that I've watched, he's basically, trying to intimidate Usyk's team, where Usyk challenged George Fox for a fight in central London. He said, 4 of your team and 4 of my team, we can get it on after we have had the unification fight with Daniel Dubois. And George Fox basically said, yeah, then I'll gouge your eyes out. If it is real life, I'll gouge your eyes out. But if it's boxing, of course, you're the better boxer. Something along those lines. And it's like, how have we gotten to this point? Like, why have you guys resorted to trying to bully these guys into, making them scared and be afraid of Daniel Dubois? Usyk is not afraid of Daniel Dubois. Usyk has done this already. Usyk has beaten Dubois. Usyk has stopped Dubois with a jab. And by the way, Don Charles, Daniel Dubois, your fighter, had the opportunity to finish Usyk off. When Usyk got up from that low blow, Daniel Dubois had the opportunity to jump on Usyk and stop him, but he couldn't. And whilst I watched the fight, guys, and I've rewatched the fight again, and I implore you guys to watch the fight again and let me know. But the tactics in that fight, the tactics that Don Charles employed in that fight was for Daniel Dubois to land as many low blows as he can. I promise you, watch the fight and count the many times that Dubois tried to hit Usyk low. Watch it again and try to count it. The tactics and the way for them to beat Usyk is to try and hit him low and make him uncomfortable and hit him, which is against the rules. And Don Charles himself knows, I promise you, Don Charles knows that shot was low. But Don Charles has been so dishonest and he's been so emotional that he cannot get his head out of his backside to go, actually, it was a low blow. If Usyk had landed the same shot on Daniel Dubois, Don Charles would be jumping up and down saying that was a disgrace, that is a low blow, and he can't believe that his fighter, Daniel Dubois, has been hit with that shot. Don Charles knows this. When Daniel Dubois quits in that ring, Don Charles is the same guy that came out and said, if he hears anyone that will call Daniel Dubois a quitter, he's going to punch them in the face. Don Charles is taking this thing too personal in a way that he shouldn't. Because what he's doing is he's putting his fighter in a very difficult position come fight night. Because when Usyk then starts to go through the gears, Daniel Dubois is compelled to be competitive. Daniel Dubois is compelled to rebuttal what Usyk is doing in the ring. And I don't think Dubois has the mental fortitude. I don't think Dubois is that mentally strong to be able to go toe-to-toe with Usyk when it comes to who's going to win the mental battle in this fight. So Don Charles' way of trying to get to Usyk mentally can actually backfire, and I believe will actually backfire onto himself and onto his fighter. If I was Don Charles, I would be focused on getting my fighter ready for this fight rather than trying to intimidate the other fighter. Don Charles is giving too much energy to Usyk and Usyk's team. Like Don Charles' son, George Fox, they're giving too much energy. Daniel Dubois then tried to shove, not even try, Daniel Dubois actually shoved Usyk in the face-off at Wembley. And I was thinking, why is Dubois doing that? Like, why are you shoving him? He beat you. Usyk is non-confrontational. It was a stare down. Usyk said nothing, and Dubois just goes and pushes Usyk back. And I'm just thinking, like, they are trying to bully Usyk's team. They're trying to get into Usyk's head. And Usyk is not that type of guy that you can get into his head. It is just weird and strange the way Don Charles and Daniel Dubois and George Fox and the team are trying to get into Usyk and his team's head. I think Usyk, by all accounts, is the better fighter. By all accounts, is the much mentally strong fighter in this fight. And I don't think that anything that Don Charles is going to do is going to change the outcome of this fight or is going to change Usyk. Because Usyk, we've seen he's got a track record of being the same from the amateurs all the way now to the pro, at this point in his career, where he's going to be, in my opinion, going to be the 2 times heavyweight undisputed champion, which is something that has never been done before. Usyk has been the same fighter all throughout. So it's hard to then change a fighter that's so honest, that is such a remarkable human being and a great fighter that has done everything right. It's hard to then try and bully him. You can't. And Don Charles is trying to do something that is impossible. And instead, he should put his time and energy into training his fighter, Daniel Dubois, to face the challenge that he's going to come up against. Daniel Dubois, Don Charles, the team, they are just wasting the energy on Usyk. Get in the comment section and let me know what you think about it. As always, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave your comments in the section below. I'll see you guys on the next one.